Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news takes us to the east of Raleigh. We're talking about Edgemont Road near Doc Proctor Road. This is near Wendell. A crash involving a school bus. You see that entire road is shut down as of this point. We're going to have a live report coming up in just a few minutes.
Things you need to know. I'm tracking a front that'll bring us some showers and then, of course, a tropical wave, which could become our next system. I'll show you where it is right now.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning at the 8 o'clock hour. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, a lot to get to for your Monday morning. So glad you're with us. Let's start with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a beautiful look over Durham right now.
It is clear in most places, including Durham and, of course, Cary, which is right behind you guys. But we do have a few pockets of fog. Most of it is up in our northern counties. 58 is our temperature right now in Durham, and our dew point sitting at 58, too. So it feels comfortable out there. 63 Fayetteville, 64 in Clinton, but 52 in Roxborough, South Hill, even down around Sanford. We're seeing a little bit of patchy fog this morning. Temperatures warm up quickly. We'll see high of 83 degrees this afternoon. We're also looking at the chance of rain midweek with a cold front coming through. We could see some rain late Tuesday as that front approaches, but most of that rain will be with us on Wednesday, and then possibly another chance on Saturday. We'll check that out coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, we want to get right to that breaking news we've been following all morning long. This crash involving a school bus on Edgemont Road near Doc Proctor Road near Wendell, and that's where we find WRAL's Laura Levine on that scene with what we know right now. Laura.
Was a bumpy ride for students heading to Roseville High School this morning. Behind me, you can see that some of those emergency responders have cleared the scene. Right now, we have several tow trucks here, and we still have crews assessing the school bus. But what we know is, hearing from students on board this morning, they tell us that the bus driver actually hit a tree that was in the middle of the road. It was early this morning. It was dark, so obviously the driver did not see the tree in the middle of the road. And students describe physically being lifted from their seats when the incident happened. Take a listen. Okay, it appears we don't have that interview just yet from the student, but he's describing, again, physically lifted from the seat. He tells me that other students did receive minor injuries, and the bus driver is doing okay, but the driver did have to be removed from the bus on a stretcher this morning. So we're still working to gather some more details because there is another vehicle that was involved in this. It's unclear if that same vehicle hit the tree as well or the bus this morning. Ken?
All right, Laura. Again, that's Edgemont and Doc Proctor Road. Avoid that area if you can near Wendell. The other trouble spot we're following is down here in Cumberland County. I-95 northbound shut down right near State Road 24. This is near Fayetteville. You might want to take Highway 295 as an alternate route. We're told that road could be closed until about 10 o'clock this morning. Right now, we were seeing a little bit of a jam coming in from Nidell this morning as we look live at I-87 at Smithfield Road. But you can see things have definitely cleared up rather nicely on I-87, but we're still seeing some lingering delays stretching all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. But once you get into Nidell, you can see it's clear sailing. Looking at a 16-minute delay, a 7-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning, and just a 5-minute delay for those of you coming in from Durham. And speaking of Durham, all these delays, 5 minutes here, 6 minutes there, really nothing that's going to make you late. We're going to check to see what's causing that major delay down there on I-885 heading into Durham this morning. You're getting ready to head into the Cartoon Center on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Today, the Raleigh police officer facing sex crime charges is expected to face a judge. Tremail Cogdale has been fired, accused of looking the other way in a crash investigation in exchange for a sexual favor. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live from the Wake County Justice Center this morning. Kelsey, what do we know about this?
Michelle, that former officer, Tremail Cogdale, is expected to face a judge a little bit later today here at the Wake County Justice Center. He's accused of having sex on the job instead of investigating a DD.
It's 8:15 and it's pretty out here on the patio, but we need to get all caught up with the tropics. So this is our tropical update. There's a 70% chance that a wave coming off the coast of Africa could develop at least into a tropical depression by the middle of the week. The next name on the list is Jerry. So we'll see, we could have tropical storm Jerry in a few days. Local impacts here are unlikely. It's more likely that a cold front would keep this offshore. As a matter of fact, you can watch where that curvature goes, sort of up closer to Bermuda. 50% chance that it develops in the next 2 days, 70% chance in the next 7 days. So something that we'll be watching very closely. It was a very warm weekend. We haven't seen temperatures close to freezing yet, but how far off are we from the first fall frost? Meteorologist Chris Michaels will be coming up in just a bit to talk about that.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, we're seeing a lot of congestion on that southern loop of the Beltlines. If you're coming in from Garner, Johnson County this morning, you might want to consider going to the northern loop of the Beltline. This other crash we're following on I-95, the northbound lanes, Highway 24. Here's what it looked like, courtesy of Steve Boyette, who sent in these pictures of that crash that really shut down those entire northbound lanes. You can see debris strewn all over the place. Right now, we're being told that Highway 95, that section will remain closing until about 10 o'clock this morning. We'll keep an eye on it here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
All right, thank you, Ken. New this morning, starting today, American Airlines is loosening restrictions on carry-on baggage sizes. The airline says it's taking away metal bag sizers at its boarding gates, which are used to make sure that your carry-on will fit onto the plane. The airline is making the change to enhance its boarding process. Carry-on bags still must be no more than 45 inches, but employees are being advised to side with the customer if they believe the bag may be slightly over that requirement.
If your kid is good at video games, that could land them a college scholarship or high-paying job. People poured into the Raleigh Convention Center this weekend for the Playthrough Gaming Convention. Raleigh schools are trying to tap into this multi-billion-dollar industry. Esports coach Michael Statham says he was at the convention scouting his next team at Lewisburg College. He's offering $5,000 in scholarship money for e-gaming tournament champs to join his program.
What we're trying to emphasize is there's different avenues within inside of the esports realm that have a career path within it, whether it's software design, hardware design, video game simulation design, graphic design, content creation, videography, etc.
William Peace State and Wake Tech are all game design programs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a growth in employing software developers, game testers, and quality assurance workers by 15% by the year 2034.
Well, if you missed out on last month's nearly $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot, you still have a chance to win big with Mega Millions. The jackpot is now $547 million. Yeah, we'll take it, right? That makes it the largest jackpot so far this year and the 12th largest in the game's history. The next drawing is tomorrow. You can watch it live at 11 that night on WRAL.
Well, fall is in the air these last few mornings, but how far off are we from the first fall frost? For that, let's check in with meteorologist Chris Michaels, showing us where the cold air is now and when we can expect to cover up the plans in today's Ask the Meteorologist. Hey, Chris.
We're just a few weeks off, right, climatologically speaking. So the cold air now, obviously, is building in the Arctic and in Canada. This is just kind of what comes with the territory in the month of October, but we're really starting to see that now as they lose daylight very quickly. Now, as that happens, they cool off quickly. Meanwhile, there's plenty of warm air to the south. It creates an active jet stream. So when the jet drops, we get colder. When it rises, we get warmer, but we're still not quite at that time when we typically see frost or freezing temperatures. This week, it's in the Rockies, the Intermountain West, and as you go into parts of the Canadian Plains. But here at home, on average, our first fall frost or freeze is in the last week of October. It's more toward the middle of the month in the mountains and toward November as you head closer to the coast. Now, on average, it's starting to happen a little later. We'll talk about how much later and the three ways that affects us. Well, right now on WRAL.com, all you got to do is search Ask the Meteorologist.
All right, thank you very much for that, Chris. And we're definitely not going to see any freezing temperatures today. It's going to be beautiful. Let's get outside to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on the WRAL weather patio to talk about the temperatures we're going to see today, Elizabeth.
It's a nice cool start this morning with temperatures in the 50s for the most part, but definitely going to warm up nicely this afternoon, just like we did over the weekend. This is a live look, of course, of the gardens behind me. It is a gorgeous morning here. We've had some patchy fog in some spots, but it has not been widespread at all. Our next weather maker is this front that's back to the west, moving across the plains, getting ready to move through Chicago with some scattered storms there, and it arrives here on Wednesday. Today is nice and dry. We'll see high pressure keeping us nice and sunny, but then here comes that front. That front could bring us a few isolated showers or storms late Tuesday. This is 11 p.m. on Tuesday, and then potentially in the morning Wednesday and on and off all day long. So we're looking at the potential for some pretty wet conditions on Wednesday, possibly even lingering into early Thursday. Well, what kind of rainfall are we looking at? Most likely 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Behind the system, it's going to be blustery on Thursday. Winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, and it will feel like fall again. After some warmer than normal temperatures for the last several days, we're looking at 60s and 70s starting on Thursday. 60% chance of rain on Wednesday. That's when that front's going to come through. That'll bring us our best chance for rain. And then the front may stall off the coast and another low develops. This will be a coastal low. So a lot of rain on the coast and some rain here. And with king tides along the coast, there may be more issues along the Outer Banks with homes falling into the water. Again, our best chance of rain, at least in the Triangle area and where our viewing area is, going to be Wednesday. But then we're watching Saturday closely. That's a low that hasn't developed yet, but as it does, it could feed us some rain for Saturday. But it doesn't look like it'll be a complete washout for the weekend. Keep checking back as we see that low starting to develop.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got major issues in that southern loop of the Beltline. We got two issues going on. A crash on I-40 westbound near the Gorman Street exit. We also have a crash blocking at least one lane there at Highway I-40 westbound near South Saunders. This is what we're talking about. It's like a virtual slow-moving parking lot out there in I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. So you're coming in from Gardner-Johnston County. You might want to take that northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side. We're also seeing this crash on I-95 near NC-24. This is what's happened this morning. This crash with debris strewn all over the road, courtesy of Steve Boyette. This road, we're being told, should be shut down until about 10 o'clock this morning. We keep an eye on and let you know exactly what's going on. We're also monitoring this crash involving a school bus on Edgemont Road near Doc Proctor Road. This is near Wendell. It involved a school bus that was headed to Roseville High School this morning. Apparently, it hit a log or some tree that was in the middle of the road. We're being told from students who were on that bus that some students suffered some minor injuries. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know what's going on. But things have really gotten jammed up coming in from Durham this morning. You're looking at a 12-minute delay, just a 4-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. Another check of weather and traffic right after the break.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. A little bit of a chilly start out there, but it's going to warm up nicely. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner outside on the WRAL weather patio.
And this sunshine already feeling good out here. 58 degrees in Durham officially, as well as Raleigh, 63 in Fayetteville. And of course, we're taking a look at Dorton Arena. Gosh, it's, less than a little over a week before the fair starts. Crazy, time flies. Temperatures will climb into the low to mid 80s for this afternoon, so it will be warm like the weekend. We stay dry today and tomorrow with a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. Ken?
Elizabeth, we have a couple of issues on the southern loop of the Beltline. We got a crash near the Gorman Street exit and also one near the South Saunders exit, causing quite a bit of a delay there on I-40 in those westbound lanes as we take a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. In terms of coming into the capital city, you're coming in from Durham this morning. We're between I-885 and the capital city. You're looking at a 9-minute delay. Really just a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning.
All right, thank you, Ken. A Wake County school bus on the way to Rollsville High ran off the road in Wendell. Students on board say the driver hit a log or tree in the road that was hard to see in the dark. Some say they were lifted out of their seats as the bus ran off that road. At least 2 people were transported with injuries. And a Raleigh police officer is expected to appear in court today. Tremail Cogdale has been fired. He also faces 3 charges. RPD says that he drove one of the victims back to their house where the sex act occurred. Cogdale has been with RPD since 2022. Next on Fox 50, a mass shooting investigation underway this morning in Alabama. And next on Today, a one-on-one with Channing Tatum for Roofman.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news involves a crash involving a school bus with students on board. You can see the pictures right there, courtesy of Sky 5 and photographer Charles Bradley. We'll have a live report coming up from Wendell right in just a few minutes.
And officer in court, a Raleigh police officer accused of crossing the line, faces a judge today. What investigators say he did and what's next in that case.
And it's comfortably cool out here on the patio. Temperatures are still mainly in the 50s. It'll be a quick warm up into the 80s today, but we do have cooler weather ahead by the end of the week.
And remembering Grayson Murray, a Raleigh golf star's vision is coming to life in a powerful way today. We'll tell you about the event that's inspiring hope and change. Lots to get to here in this half hour here on Fox 50. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, a beautiful morning. Little chilly out there,
we'll take it.
but we'll take it. It's going to be a beautiful day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is out on the WRAL weather patio. Elizabeth, soon you're going to be able to take that jacket off.
Yes. You know, I probably could do it right now. It's starting to get warm. Once that sun popped up over the horizon, it is warming up quickly. We take a look at our WRAL gardens right now, looking gorgeous. A beautiful day to get outside. Very similar to what we saw over the weekend. It's going to be warm, but not terribly muggy. Right now, it's 58 degrees with a dew point of 58. But we get into the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to really start to see those temperatures climbing quickly. Right now, it's 65 in Clinton and 54 in Roxborough. Most of us are seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 50s right now. We climb into the low 80s for highs this afternoon. But I'm tracking a front that's likely to bring us some rain, mainly on Wednesday. We definitely need some rain, and we could see some over the weekend as well. So we'll check those rain chances on Futurecast coming up.
Elizabeth, happening now with the W Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that situation involving this crash involving a school bus on Edgemont Road near Doc Proctor Road, and that's where we find WR's Laura Levine. She's been on the scene now for the last couple of hours. Laura, what do we know so far?
Ken, it was a very scary situation for students heading to Roseville High School this morning, and this is really the root of the problem. Take a look here. You can see that this is the tree that fell in the middle of the road. The bus driver was not able to see it because it was so dark. The bus crashed into this tree and then later ended here off the side of the road. Students on board this morning telling me that they were physically lifted from their seats when the bus crashed into this tree, and some students were injured with minor injuries. Take a listen to how one student described this morning's situation.
We were driving down the road, and then there was a big log in the road, and our bus driver ran over it, and the bus went up in the air, and we started shaking, and then we swerved into the side of the road.
Wow. What was going through your mind when all of that was happening?
What's going on? And then we just shaking and shaking, and then we landed into the trees and all that, and it's just, wow.
So pretty scary situation. Again, the bus driver was put on a stretcher, but we're told that that bus driver is doing okay. There was another vehicle involved in the crash this morning. We're still waiting to hear back from State Highway Patrol, Ken, on whether or not that car and vehicle was involved in crashing into the tree as well, or the bus.
Students. Again, that's on Edgemont Road, Doc Proctor Road, completely shut down. Avoid that area if you can. The other major problems we're having on the southern loop of the Beltline, there was a crash on the exit near Gorman Street that's clear, but we still have this situation here on I-40 westbound near South Saunders Street. At least one lane is blocked there, causing quite a bit of delay, because you can see what I'm talking about here. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Right now, you're looking at a 9-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline, so keep that in mind as you're about to head out. So you're coming in from Garner, maybe Johnston County, you might want to take that northern loop of the Beltline. As for coming into the capital city, there's a crash on I-40 eastbound around Aviation Parkway, Airport Boulevard, if you will, causing a little bit of a slowdown. That's why you're seeing like a 9-minute delay coming in from Durham this morning, and a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest. The other thing I want to tell you about is on I-95. This crash on near NC-24 caused quite a bit of a stir. You can see debris strewn all over the street. We're told that road could be shut down until about 10 o'clock this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Happening today, a Raleigh police officer is expected to appear in court. Tremail Cogdell is accused of looking the other way in a crash investigation in exchange for a sexual favor. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside the Wake County Justice Center to explain the charges and what we can expect today in court. Kelsey.
Yes, Michelle, that former officer, Tremail Cogdell, is expected to face a judge for the first time today here at the Wake County Justice Center. He's accused of having sex on the job instead of investigating a DWI crash. Cogdell is facing 3 charges for failing to investigate in exchange for sexual favors. He was fired from the Raleigh Police Department when those charges were filed. Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce explained what happened at a news conference Friday. He says 3 weeks ago, Cogdell drove a victim away from a crash scene back to his house where police say a sexual act occurred. Court records show Cogdell has been involved in nearly 60 cases since he's worked for RPD, and all of those are now under review. Chief Boyce shares his disappointment about the arrest.
As the chief, it's not easy for me to stand up here and say that I arrested one of my officers. But when I was selected as chief, I promised this community that I was going to be transparent and I was going to hold people accountable no matter who they are. I hope today reflects that I'm keeping my word.
Cogdell is scheduled to appear in court this afternoon at 1:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Also in court today, an 18-year-old charged in a deadly Durham County crash. Kevin Gomez is accused of street racing and facing felony and misdemeanor charges. Deputies say 2 cars were street racing on Highway 55, including Gomez, who actually took off from that scene. He ran a red light and hit a Dodge Charger on Carpenter Fletcher Road. 1 person in the Charger died and another person in that same vehicle was injured. Gomez was also injured. He is now at the Durham County Detention Center without bond. Also today, a court appearance for a convicted sex offender accused of being on the grounds of an elementary school in Cumberland County. Deputies say 66-year-old Danny Yarborough was arrested at Galberry Farm Elementary in Hope Mills Friday. He's charged with 2 counts of being a sex offender on child premises. Yarborough is being held on $100,000 bond.
Happening today, delegations from Hamas, Israel, and the U.S. are expected to begin ceasefire negotiations. Tomorrow marks 2 years since Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th. 1,200 people were killed and 251 hostages were taken. The remaining Israeli hostages still alive could be released in the coming days as peace talks proceed in Egypt today. Negotiators are discussing President Trump's 20-point roadmap for peace.
The U.S. Senate is expected to vote today on a deal about the government shutdown. Republican and Democratic leaders are blaming each other as negotiations have stalled. Also, the Trump administration is threatening to fire federal workers and cut priorities important to Democrats. And U.S. troops are working unpaid as the shutdown continues. Now, a judge temporarily blocked the deployment of California's National Guard troops to Portland. The ruling came a day after a similar decision halted Oregon's own National Guard deployment. President Trump ordered California troops to protect what he calls, quote, a war-ravaged city. About 100 troops had already arrived in Oregon. Oregon's governor says the move appears to sidestep Saturday's ruling, which the administration plans to appeal. Texas was ordered to send its National Guard to Portland as well.
Funeral plans are set for one of the people killed in the Southport mass shooting. Michael Durbin will be laid to rest on Friday in his home state of Ohio. He was one of 3 people killed when shots were fired from a boat at the American Fish Company on September 27th. 6 others were hurt and later released from the hospital. Funeral plans have not been released yet for Joy Rogers and Solomon Banjo. The suspect, Nigel Edge, is due in court on October 13th.
Happening today, many of the world's top professional golfers, celebrities, and supporters will come together to honor the life and legacy of pro golfer Grayson Murray. Murray was a Raleigh native and 5-time professional golf champion. He bravely shared his experience with anxiety, depression, and addiction before his untimely passing in May of 2024. The first Grayson Murray Classic begins this morning with a golf tournament, followed by a fundraising dinner and gala tonight. Organizers say this helps advance mental health and addiction care and ensures Grayson's mission continues to make a difference.
Back in 21, Grayson spent some time in a treatment facility for his depressive disorder. While he was there, he actually wrote a plan that said, one day I want to start the Grayson Murray Foundation to help those that are looking for help but may not have the help they need financially.
There will also be a silent auction at tonight's gala. Everyone can participate in that online. WRAL is a proud community sponsor of this event.
Coming up, big sales ahead. Amazon, Target, Walmart slashing prices this week, but not all deals deliver real savings. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows you what to watch out for before you click buy.
Heading to break, we want to give you a live look at Carl Lake this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is out on the WRAL weather patio explaining the needed rain that's on the way.
.43, and it feels nice on the patio. Really starting to warm up with that sunshine here. We take a live look at Apex, and it looks gorgeous with lots of sunshine. There were a couple of spots where we had just a little patchy fog. It didn't last for long, and it certainly was not an issue really for the morning commute. Right now, it's 55 in Roxborough, but 63 in Fayetteville, 59 in Cary, and 61 in Goldsboro. So feeling very comfortable out here this morning. Our dew point sitting right there at comfy, and by the time we get to the end of the week, it may drop down to refreshing. But we do have a front that'll come through middle of the week, and that's going to bump it up just a little bit. Today's still a great day, especially right now, to get outside and do some exercise. It'll be warm this afternoon at 83, but not terribly humid. And we're nice and dry today, and tomorrow, coming up, we'll talk more about our chances for rain midweek.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. I've got to get your attention on this video right here. This is Sky 5 live above this crash that happened on I-95 North in Cumberland County. I mean, look at the mess that is here on the road. In terms of specifics with this, we know that this crash happened around 6:30-ish this morning, and then it's supposed to be over by about 10. That's not quite clear if that will be the case, but you can just see the amount of debris that's scattered across the road. In terms of what happened to this, we're trying to get more information, but you see that right there, that yellowish, greenish cabin there for what appears to be a tractor trailer. We know that is involved with this. We see the debris scattered across the road, and not too long ago, our assignment desk just told me they did see that they saw a white sheet being placed out, which typically is an indicator that someone has died, but we are trying to verify that information with this. In terms of what led up to that crash, we're trying to get information as we speak, making calls in that regard, but this is going to be a high impact area. I tell you what, Ken, trying to get around this, it's going to be a mess, but there are some type of detour that should be available.
Yeah, the Highway Patrol there's getting people off on Highway 24 to get people around that mess. Also, you live in Fayetteville, you know that 295 is another alternate route to avoid I-95 this morning. But again, as Chris just mentioned, we'll keep you posted and let you know what's going on. The other troubled spot here at home, a little bit closer to Wake County, that southern loop of the Beltline, there was a crash on I-40 and Gorman Street that's cleared, but we see that situation on South Saunders Street right near I-40 westbound, and also right near the interchange there with 440. Things are beginning to clear up a little bit there, that southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. In terms of that, you're looking just a 2-minute delay. So a little bit ago, it was up to 9 minutes. So definitely things are getting better. Again, this reminder, avoid Edgemont Road at Doc Proctor Road there in Wendell. There was a bus crash there earlier. That road completely shut down right now. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know exactly what's going on here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
All right, thank you, Ken. Right now, a massive rescue effort is underway to save hikers trapped on Mount Everest. Chinese state media says a blizzard left nearly 1,000 people stuck on Tibet's eastern slope of the mountain. The freezing temperatures and heavy snow have local villagers and rescue teams on a race against the clock. Other mountaineers say it's going to be a massive human effort to reach people. Some have been saved by rescuers, but many are still reportedly stuck at an altitude of 16,000 feet. To the south of Tibet, landslides and a flash flooding have killed at least 44 people in Nepal. And back here at home, Durham City Council looking into a squirrel problem in one part of the city. Those concerns were first raised during a November City Council meeting. A man who lives in the Trotter Ridge subdivision said wildlife feeders in his neighborhood created the squirrel problem. He says the squirrels chewed through automobile wire harnesses and fuel lines. These critters were also nesting in chimneys and car engines. Council members will hear a report on the ban on feeding wildlife that happens at tonight's 7 p.m. council meeting.
Well, the city of Raleigh wants to put what's your input and plans to expand its next bus rapid transit routes. Planners are working on the downtown to midtown route. The plan is holding an open house from 5 this evening until 7 at the 5 Point Center on Noble Road. You can see what the plans are so far. You can share your thoughts on bus stops and other amenities as well. Amazon, Target, and Walmart all kicking off big sales this week. Each store offering steep discounts on smart home technology. But as 5 on your side's Keely Arthur reports, those products don't always lead to instant savings.
Smart tech like thermostats can lead to savings on your energy bill, but not if you make these mistakes. Putting your smart thermostat in the wrong spot, like near a sunny window or heat vent, that throws the reading off and your unit ends up running nonstop. Don't ignore eco settings. Most smart gadgets default to convenience over efficiency. Turning on energy saver or setting schedules only takes a few minutes. And finally, forgetting to update your settings as seasons change and skipping software updates that can boost efficiency by 30%. Coming up tonight on WRAL News at 6, I'll tell you just how much you can save if you take those steps and show you some low-tech ways to cut down on your energy bill, too. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
I'll tell you what, Bike Durham provided a local tradition this weekend. Downtown streets are filled with people learning about bike riding, safety, and enjoying a variety of non-motorized activities. From fire trucks to astronaut demonstrations to fitness and dance classes, there was something for everyone.
Getting people to reimagine what our public streets can be, more than just the channel for us to drive down, but that they can really be a place where the community comes together and celebrates.
To be able to utilize the street.
Bike Durham Executive Director John Tallman says the city had similar bike events, but it's been a few years. He says his organization wants to make this one a regular event. Time for a look at what's trending. Taylor Swift's new album smashing a few records over the weekend.
Yeah, the Life of a Showgirl canceled 2.7 million copies on Friday alone. That's the second highest weekly sales for any album ever after just one day. It's second only to Adele's 25. That sold 3.4 million copies in its first 7 days back in 2015. And Taylor's also topping the box office. Taylor Swift, the official release party of a Showgirl, made $33 million on its limited 3-day release. But are we surprised at this? We're not surprised.
She's got the Midas touch.
Yes, she does.
And those Swifties are really
They're
supportive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Right now, cleanup is underway after 9 homes fell into the ocean in the Outer Banks. Property owners and federal crews are just beginning the cleanup process. National Park Service staff also on the scene. Officials warn collapses on the coast are likely to continue with king tides expected this week. More homes falling into the ocean could leave behind another dangerous debris field.
It's just so devastating to see those homes fall into the ocean like that. All right, let's get back outside to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner out on the WRAL weather patio. Very close to taking off the jacket because temperatures warming up nicely, Elizabeth.
They are. We're mostly in the 50s right now, getting ready to jump into the 60s, definitely in the 9 o'clock hour. It is pretty here in the gardens, and we're going to be nice and dry for the next day or two, but we are desperately needing rain, and it looks like we should get a decent soaking. It may not be, inches and inches of rain on Wednesday, but, hopefully we'll at least get, kind of a steady rain during the day. 58 right now with a dew point of 58, so it's nice and comfortable out here this morning. A little bit of a breeze starting to blow, but wind is not going to be an issue for us today. We've hit 60 now in South Hill. It's 61 in Southern Pines and 66 now in Clinton, so yeah, those temperatures are beginning to creep up. 63 in Apex and Holly Springs, 58 in Raleigh, 59 in Knightdale and Rollsville. Around town, we'll hit 83 in Raleigh and 81 in Durham. That's very similar to what we saw on Saturday Saturday and Sunday. So really that weekend weather just continues for today. 86 in Fayetteville. That's going to feel pretty warm out there. The yellow and orange shaded areas are where temperatures are above normal, and we'll see that until our cold front comes through. That's the front on Wednesday that'll help to bring us our next best chance of rain. And behind the front, Thursday and Friday, we see the cooler air arriving. So it's really going to feel like fall again. Highs in the low 70s. Morning lows will be chilly. Our normal low is 55. So we've been close to that this morning, but warmer tomorrow and Wednesday, and then back down to near normal on Thursday and Friday. Same thing with the afternoon highs. Our normal high is 77. We'll be above that for the next couple of days, and then Thursday below it at 70. And a big drop in our humidity as well. You can see Thursday and Friday we see that nice big drop. Our rain chances will be highest on Wednesday, but we could see another chance of some showers on Saturday.
I'm going to bring our viewers back here into the WRAL Live Center. We're getting more visuals here as Sky 5 zooms in. So this is another vehicle that we've seen on I-95 North in Cumberland County. And you see the trailer of this vehicle. It looks like it's been just barely ripped open after that crash, and the contents are still mostly inside. But in terms of what led up to that crash, that's what we're still trying to confirm. We're also trying to get a better timeline of events that happened to this, including now that we know that a white sheet has been laid across the road, which usually indicates that someone has died. We're staying on top of this story here for WRAL News and Fox 50. We'll be back with a check on traffic and weather in just a couple of minutes.